Welcome back, guys, to another video. This is part 2 to the horrific tragedy that just struck my community. About 33 and a half hours ago, a mass shooting occurred here in Beaufort County on the island of St Helena. If you don't know, Beaufort County, I do believe, is made up of about roughly 60-ish islands. Only a few of them are accessible by us, human beings. I'm going to do a quick rundown, give you guys a quick recap basically of what happened, what I talked about last video. Obviously what we know in more details has finally came out to us, have come to light, like victims age and names, and thankfully, as far as I know, nobody else has died from the situation. So without further ado, let's hop straight into this. And again, if you guys like what you see, welcome to the channel. Don't be afraid to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, man, and follow me along on this journey. Yeah, like I said, without further ado, let's hop right into this one, man. St Helena Island, located in Beaufort County, South Carolina, is part of the scenic Sea Islands and home to roughly about 8,000 residents or so, connected to the mainland by Sea Island Parkway. This is a small island that has long been a quite close-knit community. It's also been one of the historic strongholds for the Gullah people, which are their descendants from West African enslaved people who settled in the Low Country. Over generations, they've brought like a unique language, culture, and set of traditions, creating a vibrant community for people to celebrate its roots. Life on St. Helena is largely a rural and peaceful, with marshes, tidal creeks, and historic homes dotting the landscape, and families that have lived there for generations in this community. Yeah, like this is a very historic place for this area. Very, very, very historic. It's been known for like the people. They have their own storytelling, music, cuisines, crafts, spiritual practices. It's also home to the institution like the Penn Center, which I believe is rolled to the education to free slaves, and that's what it was, like the first school for free slaves at the time. So at the time of the recording of this video, it was still daylight outside because it was still technically around early-ish, about 8:30 this morning when I started doing my official recording after getting some of my initial facts out the way for my part 2. I was going to do a deep dive on this, but there's just been so much more facts that have come out now that we're a little over 40 hours into this, almost to the 48-hour mark. I do believe 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight, or it will be about 48 hours tonight. Anyways, now that I gave you guys a brief overview of St. Helena, gave you a little bit of history behind it and what this place offers historical wise, and how this is definitely not a ongoing occurrence like they deal with in major cities like a Chicago or like a Cincinnati. Like this is a small, close-knit group of people and community where it's just everybody knows everybody. It kind of reminds me of my hometown. I'm from a very small town in Ohio, and that's why I fell in love with this area. It's very small town vibes with people with big dreams all around here. Yeah, so without further ado, let's hop right back into what's the topic at hand here. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the overview of that night and what happened. So yeah, buckle up and let's get back into it. In the early morning hours of Sunday, October 12th, 2025, Quiet Island community was shaken by one of the deadliest shootings in Beaufort County's recent history. What started as a typical night out at a local bar ended in chaos, tragedy, and unanswered questions. Just after 1 a.m., gunfire broke out inside Billy's Bar, a small, well-known hangout spot located along Sea Island Parkway on St. Helena Island. The bar, usually a laid-back gathering place for locals, was packed that night when shots suddenly rang out. Witnesses describe a scene of panic as people tried to flee the building. Deputies from the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office responded to multiple 911 calls, reporting shots fired. When they arrived, they found several victims both inside and outside the bar. Emergency crews rushed the wounded to nearby hospitals, some in critical condition. In total, 4 people were killed, and at least 5 others were injured. Authorities later identified the 4 victims as Kayshawn Glaze, Sherrod Smalls, Ashikta Mildage, and Amos Gray. all believed to have been local residents, and their deaths have left the community reeling. As of just over 33 hours after the shooting, no arrests have been made, and no suspects have been publicly identified. Investigators believe that this is not a random attack. Instead, it may have been started as an altercation inside the bar that quickly escalated to a deadly violence. Law enforcement is reviewing security footage, conducting interviews, and asking the public to come forward with any information. The FBI and SLED are insisting due to the scale of the seriousness of this case. So, for me, this shooting isn't just a like a headline or a chance for me to try to, get some type of clout off of this. This is home. It's devastating. The event for the community with such deep roots and a strong sense of identity. As the investigation unfolds, many are left asking, like, how did this even happen, and who's responsible? And I may have a few answers to that. And like I said, at the time of this recording and everything that is going on, more and more things are starting to come to light. Beaufort County Sheriff's Office hasn't been really forthcoming with the information. Now, we don't know if that's because of them or that's because the feds completely took over. As I mentioned, the FBI is involved with this with SLED, which is South Carolina's lead investigation division or something like that, whatever the fuck that, whatever that stands for. It just sucks because as a community that's so small and it's left many families hurt, it sucks that our local government isn't being transparent with us. And I'm very adamant on a government, even our local government officials, being very transparent with us, no matter how difficult these facts may have to be for us and the families. I get that the situation itself is very tragic and people may not be coming to terms with what happened, but we all as a community deserve to know who did this. And as I break it down for you in this next portion of the video, they may actually have somebody who was actually just arrested on these charges. Local reporters from bigger companies like WTCO and whatnot have actually found an arrest record in the Beaufort County Sheriff's database. And yeah, this is getting crazy, y'all. Let's get back into it. So, I found this article here and similar ones stating this man was arrested on machine gun charges. I would like you guys to meet Mr. Fernie Devon Freeman of Beaufort County. He was arrested and booked not too long ago, I believe a few short hours ago, on machine gun charges. As you can see here, according to official reports obtained by the CC News Network, the charges stem from illegal possession of a machine gun. Weapons consist with those reportedly used during the St Helena Island shooting. Interesting, isn't it? His alleged firearms were directly involved in the massacre that left 4 people dead and more than a dozen wounded. Both charges are felonies, obviously, an aggravated breach of peace and a carry up to 10 years in prison, while unlawful possession of a machine gun or sawed-off weapon carries up to 10 years and a $10,000 fine. Obviously, if you know this law here in the state of South Carolina. And the bottom half of this article clearly states that the investigation continues. But this is like very developing news. And with this case, like I said, still ongoing and hitting so close to home, I hope that is the individual. Or I don't hope that's him, because I don't hope that anybody would ever want to commit such a crime against another person or people. Like, I can't even find the words. Like, I know this really, really bothers me, Prayers to the St. Helena Island and to the people that are all closely involved in this, This is so unnecessary, very unnecessary. And here's just a few reactions on like social media and a few representatives of the state, from the House and whatnot, to senators. You can take a pause if you guys would like. Read them. Again, this situation sucks. It really does. Yeah. So this pretty much summarizes part 2 of this deep dive on, or storytelling of what happened that tragic night. If you guys like this content and want to see more from me, please drop a like and subscribe. And remember, this could happen anywhere. Let's not make this into something that it's not. Let's give prayers to those that were lost and anybody that was involved into this community. Until next time, this is your typical Mexican. I'm out of here.